Hi, my name's Katie Bomberger, and I'm going to show you today a little bit about how to use Wizer.me to make online interactive worksheets for your students. So the first thing that I'm going to show you is how to share the quiz or the worksheet with your students. So if you're in the account and you want to share it with your students, you can share it through a link or a URL. So if you click on that, it'll copy the link for the students, and in my case I would just post it to Schoology to do that. And here I had just entered the link for myself. So the first thing I want to do is just show you what it would look like if you were a student taking this, and then I'll go through a brief overview with you of how to actually use the website and then set up your account and how to go in and create a worksheet. But this is what you would see if you were a student and you were going in to take this assessment. So as a student, I go in and I see subtraction with regrouping and across zeros. And this is something that maybe they would take before you teach the lesson to see what maybe some of their misconceptions will be, or to see how much they've already learned about this in the previous grades and remember. But they just have to scroll down and the questions appear for them. So the first thing that they have is a multiple choice question. So of course they can have a whiteboard and a marker there with them to be solving this, because there isn't one that pops up on the screen. So they would have to use the whiteboard and the marker, which I guess is kind of a downfall of this, because it would be nice to be able to see it when you review their results, but you could just have them do it on scratch paper. So if they're solving this, the way that I tried to set up the problems was that so some of them would have some common errors with regrouping in them, but then they can go through and click here in the video, why did the person solving the problem need to go to the thousands place in order to start borrowing? So then they can go, sorry, my mouse is frozen, right here, and they can click play. And then they watch that. Here is the next question. Which problems require regrouping or borrowing to subtract? So here they have to sort them. So they do have to go through each one and decide which problem needs borrowing or regrouping, and then which ones do not. And when they go through and do this, I'm just going to pull them. Oops. So they click on it and they can choose which one that they want to sort it to. And then it'll bring it down to the column, and then they just have to go through each one that they see that they think needs regrouping, no regrouping. And they've answered that. And finally, solve 17,000 minus 9,682. Write the steps you took in order to solve the problem. Be specific. So I would have them again show their work on paper and then say, you know, the first step that I took to solve this problem was to correctly set it up on my scratch paper. The next thing I did was to begin subtracting in the ones place and decide if I needed to borrow. I did need to borrow because I had a 0 on the top and a 2 on the bottom. So I went to the next place and saw that was a 0, 2, and that's all I'll type there. The other thing that's nice right down here is there's an answer recorder. So if you have a student who maybe struggles with writing, they could do their think aloud and you could grade that for them. So that's a really nice option that I appreciate as a teacher. And then when you grade it, you'll obviously, you wouldn't see their typing up here, but you can just click down at the bottom. So now I'm just going to hit hand in work. It says now is a good time to go over your answers, so just in case maybe they forgot one, it gives them a reminder. And then confirm and hand in work. It shows me that my assignment is completed. Feedback is below. I did request that when I created this to have them be able to see the results right away unless something required me to grade it. So here it shows them which ones they got wrong, and of course this one was corrected screen up at the top. And then down here it has this little clock on it, which is a symbol for them to know that the teacher has to look at it, and it will let you know when she's done grading it. So that's what that would look like if you had completed it as a student. It's nice that it shows them what they got correct and incorrect right away. Now this is my teacher dashboard. So what I did when I signed up for this is I just went to wiserme.com and I used my Google account to sign in with it that I use for like my Gmail, my Google Docs, and all that. But I signed up for WiserLite because it's free. If you wanted to upgrade your account, they always give you the option to do that. The upgraded account is called the Awesome Plan. It's $44. And with the upgraded account, you can differentiate directions and answer choices. You can allow students to edit worksheets, and there's a couple other question types. But I think with the WiserLite, you have plenty of options, especially when you're just getting started. So the main thing that you need to be able to know how to do is create your worksheets. So your worksheets are up under on the left hand side of the screen where it says My Worksheets. I'm going to move my screen a little. This is where you go to create a worksheet. Then you can select a design cover, whatever you'd like. Maybe you want to just scroll through and see what they have available. Maybe you want to do a math theme. So you can choose your cover there, and then it has some different color options if you wanted to choose a different color. And then you can do your font, and then when you scroll down, it starts saying add a task. So these are all of the options that you have for the ways that you want to ask the questions to the kids. So you can see and read for yourself there all the different things that you can add. This is the one that you cannot do because it's for the Awesome Plan. But you have all of these other options available to you. In my demo one, I did an open question, I did multiple choice, I did sorting, and then I also added a video. I like that they have a matching option, but they also have a fill on an image, which is really nice. For example, if you wanted to have them, if you're labeling maybe parts of the body, or I do an embryology unit where we have to label the parts of an egg, you can click fill on an image, and here you can upload an image that you want them to label for you. Again, it could be really nice for science, it could be good for health, different parts of the body, that sort of thing. So I do like that option. I just clicked back there. But then again, if you go into create your worksheet, click on your design, and as you scroll down, you start to add the tasks, and the tasks just add up. You have the option to then review, where you go through and you just double check that everything's the way that you want it. And when you're ready to assign it to your learners, you hit create an assignment. And so we created the assignment, and then in order to share it with your students, you can click on the link and it gives you a URL. I would post that to Schoology in my classroom. You could post it to Edmodo, or if you use Google Classroom, it connects with that. I don't have those two things right now, so I'll just click OK. The other thing that I wanted to show you is down here at the bottom. It says automatic feedback. You have to turn this option on if you want your kids to get feedback from their worksheet right away. And that's what I showed you earlier with the one that we completed as a student. So that's that. If you go back to dashboard, the only other thing that I think is important is if you go here to community, this is where you can look up for already created worksheets that maybe you can tailor to meet the needs of your classroom. The subjects are on the left-hand side. Over in this column, you can pick your grade. And if you wanted to search for something specific, you could type in exactly what you were looking for and see if there's anything in there that would fit. And I don't see anything there that looks like what I'm looking for. But I can go back in, and maybe you want to just look at science. There, it doesn't look like there's anything specific on 4th grade, but if you needed something for the digestive system, it'll bring up some things that match that. And here's what I mean by that fill on image. They have to label the different parts of the digestive system, which is a nice option for them. So that is my video on WiserMe and how you can use it to create worksheets for your classroom and get feedback on your students' progress. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and got some new information.